Good morning, everyone. We are here in Unity Hall. Jesse, Perry, Caitlin, Anne, and we all have been blessed with Bill's music this morning as we begin our first streaming live worship service. We feel your presence in Unity Hall. We feel the holy chaos that always fills this space when we gather on Sunday morning, even though you are in place and worshiping in a very different way. Still, we are together and we are holding close to the thought of when we will be together again in this space and leaning into the connections that we have built over these many years. And so we begin with a reading that I know that many of you have been reading and rereading. And so we will, this morning, in Our Souls in London, begin with Lynn Unger's poem, Pandemic. It is a poem that has gone viral, and we can be assured is being shared in Unitarian Universalist congregations all over the country. And so we begin. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel. Cease from buying and selling. Give up, just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray. Touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has come clear. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your hearts. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, for as long as we all shall live. You are all joyfully called to worship. Welcome to All Souls, where all souls are welcome. We will begin with our opening hymn, which is Come, Come, and we're changing the words to wherever you are. If this is working like we hope it is, we'll see the lyric on your screen. And if it is not, this is the lyric. Come, come, wherever you are, wanderers, worshipers, lovers of the King. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. We're going to sing it through 2 times. Caitlin and I are going to sing it in a round the second time. So if you're home with others, you may do the same or sing with one or the other. So let's begin. Come, come, wherever you are, wanderers, lover of grieving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet come. Come, come, wherever you are, begin as we do each week with the lighting of our chalice flame. Welcome, Carrie.
So nice to be here.
We're still working on glitches as we go. So here we go.
So each week we light our chalice, and this morning we were calling out Anne to light our chalice. And you should all have the chalice lighting words on your screen as we say together, we reach out our hearts. We reach out our words. We reach out all the tendrils of passion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. We promise this world our love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. We also, each week, light a peace candle to bring our healing to what is happening in the world. This past week and in the coming days, we are all concerned about the coronavirus outbreak and its effect on so many aspects of life. We hold in our hearts those who are ill with COVID-19 and hope for their full recovery. We light this candle for the inner peace we try to hold on to amidst the anxiety we feel from the unknown and the instability we face as our daily lives are disrupted in unprecedented ways. May this light shine our collective love into the world and bring healing to us all.
So we're going to share a story with you now. It's called All the World. That's by Liz Garton Scanlon. Rock, stone, pebble, sand, body, shoulder, arm, hand. A moat to dig, a shell to keep. All the world is wide and deep. Hive bee, wings hum, husk, cobcorn, yum. Tomato blossom, fruit so red, all the world is a garden bed. Slip, trip, stumble, fall, tip the bucket, spill it all. Better luck another day. All the world goes round this way. Spreading shadows, setting sun, crickets, curtains, day is done. A fire takes away the chill. All the world can hold quite still. Nanas, papas, cousins, kin, piano, harp, or violin. Babies passed from neck to knee. All the world is you and me. Everything you see, hear, smell, all the world is everything. Everything is you and me. Hope and peace and love and trust, all the world is all of us. All the world is indeed all of us. Our interdependence has become so clear in this moment. It's unsettling. And there is hope and peace and love and trust in our connections. For all the world is you and me and all of us. And now, Reverend Caitlin will share some thoughts.
Thank you, Abe.
I'd like to share a brief sermon for all ages. All the world is wide and deep, says our story. When you really stop and think about it, there's so much going on in every direction at all times. Do you ever just really take that in? Do you picture deep down in the dirt below us, where the worms are aerating the soil, and ant communities collaborate to build their homes, passing tiny pebbles down the line of teammates? And do you ever look up in the sky, where ice crystals and water droplets gather to make clouds that bring water back to land when the time is right? And then there's all the territory in between, the dirt down there and the clouds up there. It's all moving and changing and growing all the time. It's really impressive and frankly overwhelming to think about. One part of all this activity that we're really aware of at this time is that there's a microscopic virus that's trying to take up too much space. Like most parts of nature, it just wants to live and reproduce, but we think it wants too much. My 8-year-old daughter wants me to assure the children and youth at All Souls that this virus would likely feel like a cold if you caught it. Some of you have already survived a few of those this winter, and you know what to do. But part of caring about community is that we take steps to protect everyone, including those who would be hurt more by catching the virus. And so we're not getting together as much for a while, so that the virus has less of a chance to bounce from one person to another. And while we stay as cozy as we can, good people all over the world are working on keeping the virus in check. There are nurses and doctors and scientists working hard to rein it in for all of our protection. As Mr. Rogers' mom said to him whenever he saw something scary on the news, she said, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. Just down the street from my house, there are scientists and engineers working around the clock to create a home test kit to catch the virus early. I'm so grateful for their tenacity and for the long hours that they're working. All these helpers are part of the activity on Earth that keeps the balance. Such a busy place, this world. And it helps me to take a moment to remember that much of the activity that we can see and that we can't see is working just fine today, in harmony with what's around it. If you have time to look under a rock outside or gaze up at the clouds in the sky, it'll help you to notice all the things that are working just fine. There's a balance to the natural world so much of the time. It's good to remember that together. All the world can hold quite still, says our story. And things do feel oddly still right now. My invitation to you is to find what is there for you in the stillness. You may have space to call someone in your life you haven't talked to in a while. You may have space to bake or watch that movie you always wanted to see. And if you're feeling nervous, this may be a good time to see what 5 or so minutes of meditation feels like when you do it on a daily basis. We miss seeing your faces here today. We really do. And one of the silver linings we may discover in this is that we will find new ways to connect. We may not have asked for it, but our lives have been redirected in a way that may show us things we didn't see before. For one thing, it has led us to look at the map of the world and see a common experience. one that whispers the final line of the story that Anne shared this morning. All the world is all of us. May we always remember this. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I'm going to invite all of us into a moment of silence, communion of silence, so that we may hold close the truism that all the world is all of us. Now, typically, after this room is when we would prepare ourselves for the offering. And so as we are not together, I'm just going to encourage you to, as best you can, to keep up with your financial commitment to All Souls and to get your financial commitments in for next year. Here's an update on where we are so far. To remind, our goal is 400,000. We are currently at 275,000 with 101 households so far contributing. So thank you very much. We know that these are uncertain times and that we're all doing the best that we can. So thank you for your generosity as ever. And so each week we pause in our hour that we share to remind ourselves and each other of our commitment to be witness to each other's lives, to the joy and the sorrow both. And this is how we both create and sustain a beloved community. It is an ongoing effort. And so Perry, I believe, is watching the chat, and he's going to let us know. Perry, come on up. He's going to let us know what you may be typing in for us to share. And in the meantime, we have one that I think our last right in the book for a while. But Maria shares that she will be moving out of the homeless shelter this week into a friend's gracious care. And we are so happy for Maria and for that shift in her life. It must be a great relief. Anything coming up, Harry?
We're on the 22nd.
Oh, we're on the
So we have to
22nd
wait.
delay. So we have to vamp for a while. I think that I'm going to shift to the candles that we typically light in silence. So Anne will be lighting those as we hold in our hearts the many joys and sorrows that we are all holding as we tune in to this different kind of worship service. So let us have that moment of silence.
I think people are connecting with each other,
Good.
saying hi, old friends who we haven't seen, who are online. So it's really nice. And Maria gives thanks this morning for the miracle of technology. That lets her know that Doug Ray is in the house.
Oh, my goodness. Doug, very nice to see you. So we are. Oops. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. So we are going to be learning so many things in the weeks to come, and through it all, I think what we are going to be most grateful for is technology, is the advance of technology that allows us to be together in this way. But I also want to assure everybody that we are going old school in many ways as well. There are going to be many phone calls made over the course of the next weeks, and a lot of note writing. And so be assured that the souls who we are not seeing because they are just not as engaged in this type of technology, we are holding them close and making sure that they remain within the circle of our communion.
There are a few things now. Cheryl Lofgren would like us to say a prayer for her sister and partner as they are sick at home. And Cheryl Fourier says prayers for those in nursing homes who cannot have family visits, and for those family members who are nervous about their loved ones. And Lisa England says she's holding close hourly school staff who are out of work right now.
And so let us enter into a communion of prayer and meditation as we hold what has been shared and what has been held and continues to be held in our hearts. Spirit of life and of love, in all the ways that you are known and named. Typically, we end this moment by giving thanks. But we are moved in this moment to give thanks first and foremost. To give thanks for the strength of our communion and the ability for us to be flexible in our reaching out to each other in this extraordinary time. In this extraordinary time, we feel the extraordinary kindness of ordinary people. We give thanks for that. We give thanks for the beauty of the earth that reminds us of all that is happening in the air above us, in the ground beneath us, and the beauty that nourishes our worried and aching hearts. May we also be reminded to find the joy in these days, for joy will sustain us. May we find ways of connection and connect with others in ways that are socially distancing perhaps, but weave tight the fabric of community. Again, we give thanks for this day. We give thanks for faith communities everywhere doing their best to be faithful in our connections to each other. We give thanks and we say together, amen. Amen. Let us enter into a communion of silence once again and hold close all that we are holding close in our hearts. We are closing our service today with a song that we sing when the children and youth are leaving Unity Hall to go to their faith formation classes, the trees of the field. I even have the tambourine ready to go. So let us sing together joyfully the trees of the field. We distinguish the chalice with the words that we speak every Sunday. They are, our service has ended, but our work is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion. And here's where we have typically held hands, and we shifted our approach several weeks ago, and we are reaching up to the skies in gratitude. So let us do that together. Caitlin.
In this time that is strange and new to so many of us, let us find new pathways of connection. May we, as the poet says, know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful, and so live these days accordingly. May you be well. May you cultivate peace. Let us say amen.
Bill is going to play a postlude for us, and then there are announcements. So we're going to switch the camera over to Bill, and then we're going to come on back here. Thank you, everyone. So here are the couple of, because what would it be without announcements? Family sharing circles are starting Friday, March 20th is coming up via Zoom. We are leaning heavily on Zoom. So Perry will send out information to those of you who have signed up for that. We're trying to figure out a way that the children could meet in one Zoom room and the grown-ups meet in another Zoom room. We're working it out, but wait and hear from Perry. Coming of Age continues to meet because we cannot stop. We're meeting today at 11 o'clock. So youth, we will see you then shortly, about a half an hour. Next week, we gather again at 10 o'clock.
Anne will be preaching, and we thank you so much for your patience and for showing up. We realize this is a really interesting opportunity because we may be seeing folks, as Perry said, who we haven't seen for a long time. Those who have been interested in kind of checking out a Unitarian Universalist congregation, this is the opportunity to do so, very low risk. And so we welcome everyone, those who are coming and joining us for the first time, and long-timers here once again. So peace be with you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, and we're gonna keep the chat open for a little longer to have sort of a virtual coffee hour without coffee. Harry will say goodbye formally before we shut it down.